Welcome to the mesopelagic layer, commonly known as the Twilight Zone. Here, between 200 and 1,000 meters beneath the surface, sunlight gradually vanishes into near-total darkness. Descend deeper, and you'll experience pressure climbing to 10 times surface levels, enough force to obliterate most shallow water organisms. Strange life forms inhabit this zone. The oarfish, a silver, serpent-shaped giant that can exceed the length of a commercial bus. Or consider the sea angel, a translucent winged mollusk that seems to fly through the darkness. As illumination fades and pressure intensifies, creatures evolve remarkable adaptations. They lose pigmentation, develop enormous eyes, or create soft, compressible bodies that can withstand the crushing environment. Descend further, things get stranger. At 1,000 meters, you've entered the bathypelagic zone, complete darkness. The sole illumination comes from the creatures themselves, a phenomenon called bioluminescence. Life here resembles science fiction: glowing appendages, transparent flesh, mouths that seem impossibly large. Take the magnapinna squid as an example. Its spindly arms can extend beyond 6 meters, hanging like puppet strings suspended in the void. Absolute nightmare material. Pressure at this depth reaches 100 times what you experience at the surface, approximately 1,500 pounds per square inch across your entire body. Imagine a full-grown elephant balanced on your fingernail. That same crushing force surrounding you from every direction. One famous resident? The blobfish. In its natural habitat near the midnight zone's upper boundary, it appears like any adapted deep-sea fish, perfectly suited to extreme pressure. But haul it to the surface? All that pressure vanishes. The blobfish expands into that gelatinous blob you've probably seen in internet memes. It's a perfect demonstration of just how intense these pressures are, and how remarkably life has evolved to survive them. Continue sinking. At 4,000 meters, you reach the abyssopelagic zone. The abyss. Freezing, silent, dark. Life becomes scarce, but it still exists. And the barren seafloor? It holds secrets. At first glance, it looks like ordinary mud, unremarkable sediment. That's deceptive. Consider what happens to everything that dies in the ocean. Every fish, every shark, even microscopic plankton. Eventually, everything descends. Some falls as biological waste, some as tiny particles processed through other organisms. Over time, it accumulates. Across millions of years, this organic material drifts downward and settles onto the ocean floor. Scientists call it marine snow, a gentle, constant precipitation. Layer upon layer builds soft, carbon-rich mud. In certain locations, that mud exceeds a kilometer in thickness, over 3,000 feet, composed entirely from the remains of life that once existed above. These layers don't just preserve ocean history, they trap carbon dioxide, making the deep ocean one of Earth's most critical natural carbon repositories. Despite all that marine snow accumulating, life down here remains extremely limited. Most organisms subsist on scraps, adapted to an environment where nutrition is incredibly scarce. But occasionally, something extraordinary occurs. Something massive sinks, and when it does, everything changes. This is what researchers call a whale fall. When a deceased whale reaches the seafloor, it becomes a magnet for deep-sea life. Watch what happens. Scavengers arrive within hours. Sharks first, then hagfish, followed by worms, snails, and bacterial colonies. Over time, an entire ecosystem develops around these remains, sustained by a single fallen body. See those hair-like structures attached to the bones? Those are specialized worms. One whale carcass can support life here for years. A sudden burst of energy in a place where such opportunities are extraordinarily rare. And when it arrives, life doesn't hesitate. Yet surviving here remains incredibly challenging. Temperatures barely exceed freezing. Pressure exceeds 400 times surface levels. That's like balancing 7 full-grown elephants on your fingertip and experiencing that weight pressing inward from all directions simultaneously. You're still descending. You've now passed 6,000 meters below the surface. This is the Hadal zone, named after Hades, the Greek deity of the underworld. Trench territory. From here downward, only ocean trenches go deeper. Very few submersibles can reach these depths. The pressure in the Hadal zone exceeds 600 times surface pressure. To survive it, a submarine requires nearly flawless pressure-resistant engineering, something only a handful of submersibles on Earth have ever accomplished. And finally, at nearly 11,000 meters, we've reached the bottom of the Mariana Trench. That's deeper than Mount Everest is tall. The pressure is so extreme, it would feel like 90 full-grown elephants pressing into every fingertip-sized area of your body from all sides. But here's what's remarkable. Life still exists, some in bizarre forms, like xenophyophores, giant single-celled organisms that filter nutrients from the seafloor. They thrive under pressure that would destroy most life. Tiny, pale shrimp creep silently through the mud. Life here is rare, but it's perfectly adapted to the extreme. So what else exists in these trenches? We know life survives, but there's vastly more we haven't discovered. Let's remain at the Mariana Trench's bottom for a moment. This underwater canyon extends more than 2,500 kilometers across the Pacific, roughly the distance from New York to Denver. But not every section reaches the same depth. Near the western terminus, there's a point that plunges even deeper, a pit within the trench itself. If the Mariana Trench represents the ocean's deepest part, what's the deepest part of the trench itself? That's Challenger Deep, the most extreme depth on Earth's seafloor. It doesn't get any deeper than this. The first humans reached it in 1960. Swiss engineer Jacques Piccard and U.S. Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh made the descent in a steel sphere attached to a massive flotation tank. That initial dive lasted just 20 minutes at the bottom. Then for over 50 years, nobody followed. Until filmmaker James Cameron descended solo in 2012. He captured footage, collected samples, and safely returned. Several years later, explorer and entrepreneur Victor Vescovo constructed a high-tech submersible called the Limiting Factor. He completed multiple dives, gathering comprehensive data from the bottom. But here's what changed everything. In May 2020, Vescovo made an unexpected discovery during one of his Challenger Deep expeditions. A plastic bag, candy wrappers, human waste at Earth's deepest point. It proved something disturbing. No place on Earth remains untouched by human activity. But it also confirmed something else. If our trash can reach the deepest ocean, so can we. And if we can reach it, we can explore it. And if we can explore it, we can extract from it.